Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am JP Dimri, retired professor of Russian from the English and Foreign Languages University. Now, Indian grammatical tradition, pānini linguistics. Today we shall talk about grammatical studies before pānini. The objective of this module is to acquaint participants with the words of pre-pāninian grammarians. Again, we shall talk only about the general principles, general observation about these grammarians. Nirukta, which means etymology, is one of the 6 Vedangas, 6 auxiliary sciences pertaining to Veda. The study of the Nirukta was necessary for the proper understanding of Vedic texts. The word Nirukta can be derived from the root vach, to speak, which means to speak, with the prefix nir, meaning completely. So the word Nirukta means speaking or explaining words completely or properly. There must have been a rich tradition of Nirukta before Yaska. Yaska himself mentions the name of some of the Niruktkaras, etymologists such as Shakapuni. Etymological explanations of many words also found in the Vedic literature. Yaska probably was the first to formulate the general principles of etymology. Yaska and his work Nirukta. It is difficult to give the exact date of Yaska. Most of the scholars place him around 7th century BC. Yaska's work is called the Nirukta, and he was the first writer on etymology. He was also the first to treat etymology as a science. Yaska enumerates the following arguments in support of etymology as a science. First, etymology is important for the proper understanding of Vedic texts. Etymology is an aid to grammar. Third, etymology is necessary for the proper analysis of Vedic texts into padapatha, word-to-word recitation. Fourth, etymology helps us in recognizing the proper deity of a Vedic text so that the sacrifice can be performed with perfection. Fifth, etymology is a science and it should be studied for its own sake. So this is what the Lakshmana Swarupa says in his introduction of his book. Now we shall talk about Yaska's notion about language and parts of speech. Yaska's fundamental notion about language was that all words are derived from the verbal roots, and he emphasized that every word can be traced to an original root and one should never treat the word non-derivable. Yaska classified words into 4 parts of speech, namely nama, nouns, akhyata, verbs, upsarga, prepositions, and fourth, nipata, particles. Third, the Nirukta and the Nighantu. Yaska's work is called the Nirukta. The Nirukta is written in the sutra style. It has 12 chapters, adhyayas. The Nirukta is a commentary on a traditional list of Vedic words called Nighantu. It is difficult to give the exact derivation of the word Nighantu. According to Upamanyava, these are the quoted words of the Vedas and they are called Nighantavas on account of their being quoted ni gamanar. Nothing is known about the authorship of the Nighantu. Most probably, the Nighantu is not the work of a single author, but a collected work of many authors. The Nighantu has 5 adhyayas, chapters. The first 3 adhyayas, chapters, are called Naghantuka Kanda. The 4th, the Nagama Kanda, and the 5th, Devata Kanda. The Naghantuka Kanda analyzes synonyms. The Nagama Kanda deals with the homonyms and the Devata Kanda with deities. The synonyms of the first three kandas are discussed as follows. The first chapter analyzes physical things like earth, air, water, and objects of nature such as cloud, dawn, day, and night, etc. The second chapter discusses man, his limbs like arm, figure, objects, and quality associated with man like wealth, prosperity, anger, etc. The third chapter deals with the abstract qualities like happiness, lightness, etc. The kind of classification of synonyms demonstrates some kind of principles of grouping of words into classes. It can be easily said that the Nightu is the earliest available work in the field of lexicography. Yaska has commented upon all these chapters of the Nightu in the 12 chapters of his work called Nirukta. The etymology, now we shall discuss some of the etymological principles of Yaska. Yaska's principles can be grouped into two, general and particular. His general principles are: 1. All nouns are derived from the roots. 2. While deriving words, one must pay careful attention to accent, grammar, and meaning. The meaning is the most important aspect. Yaska's particular principles are: the first, one should derive the nominal forms from a root. The sense of the derived word and root should be the same, and the accent and formation of the derived word should be based on the rules of grammar and the laws of phonology. For example, pachaka, a cook, from the root pach, to cook. Karaka is derived, doer, is derived from the root kri, to do. Yaska further states that in such cases, one should take into account the phonetic process like syncope, metathesis, haplology, assimilation, dissimilation, etc. Second particular principles of Yaska is: when the meaning of a word does not agree with the meaning of the root apparent in it, one should take one's stand on the meaning only and try to derive the word from the root whose meaning is the same. For example, ishti, sacrifice, is derived from the root yaj, to sacrifice, and not from the root ish, to wish. Similarly, hasta, a hand, is derived from the root han, which means to strike, as the hand is quick at striking, and not from the root has, to laugh. The third particular principle of Yaska is: when there is no resemblance between a word and any form of a root that has a meaning, the similarity of single letter or syllable should be taken into account for the etymological explanations. And the last particular principle of Yaska is: words should be derived in accordance with their meanings. If their meanings are same, their etymologies should be the same. If the meanings are different, the etymology should also be different. For example, anishta, an plus ishta, is derived from the root ish, to wish, meaning unwanted, and not anishta, not sacrifice. And anishta, an plus ishta, not sacrificed, is derived from the root yaj, to sacrifice. So, for further details, one can consult the Lakshman Swarup's work, the Nightu and the Nirukta of Sri Yaska Acharya. Now we shall talk about some pre-pānini grammarians. We find reference to different schools of grammar prevalent in Pānini's time, either in his work or in Pratyasakyas. Some of these schools must have existed before Pānini. Some of them must have been his contemporaries. They are following. We get the names of 11 grammarians in Ashtadhyayi. The first one is Andhra, founded by Indra. The Bharadwaja school belongs to the Andhra school. We find references to Bharadwaja in Ashtadhyayi, 7th book, 2nd Pada and 63 Sutra. According to Patanjali, this school followed the principle of analyzing each word. The Andhra school took inflected words to be the unit of meaning. Second, Shakatayana. Shakatayana is referred to in Ashtadhyayi, 3rd Adhyaya, 4th Pada, 111 Sutra. 8th Adhyaya, 3rd Pada, 18 Sutra. And 8th Adhyaya, 4th Pada, Sutra number 50. Shakatayana was the founder of the theory that all nouns are derived from verbal root. Perhaps Yaska was the follower of the Shakatayana school, and we find reference to this view in the Nirukta. The work of Shakatayana did not come down to us. Third, Apishali. Apishali is referred to in Ashtadhyayi, 6th Adhyaya, Pada number 1 and Sutra number 92. Apishali has been credited of introducing the quality of heaviness and lightness of vowels. He also has been considered the innovator of the principle of Laghu, economy. Apishali treated Guna and Vriddhi as augments and not substitutes. Fourth, Shakalya is referred to in Ashtadhyayi, Adhyaya 1, Pada 1, Sutra 16, Adhyaya 6, Pada 1, Sutra 127, Adhyaya 8, Pada 3, Sutra 19, and Adhyaya 8, Pada 4, Sutra 51. Shakalya was the author of the Rigveda Padapatha. Fifth, Kashyapa is referred to in Ashtadhyayi, Adhyaya 1, Pada 2, Sutra 25, and Adhyaya 8, Pada 4, Sutra number 67. Sixth, Gargya. Gargya is referred to in Ashtadhyayi, 7th Adhyaya, 3rd Pada, Sutra number 99. 8th Adhyaya, 3rd Pada, Sutra number 20. And 8th Adhyaya, 4th Pada, Sutra number 67. Gargya was of the opinion that prefixes have their own independent meaning. 7th, Galava is referred to in Ashtadhyayi, Adhyaya 6th, Pada 3rd, Sutra number 61. Adhyaya 7, Pada 1, Sutra number 74. And Adhyaya 8, Pada 4, Sutra number 67. 8th, Chakravarmana is referred to in Ashtadhyayi, Adhyaya 6th, Pada 1, Sutra 130. 9th, Bharadwaja is referred to in Ashtadhyayi, Adhyaya 7, Pada 2, Sutra number 63. 10th, Sphotayana is referred to in Ashtadhyayi, Adhyaya 6, Pada 1, Sutra 123. Sphotayana was probably the originator of the theory of Sphota, or plosive theory of words. The last, Senaka is referred to in Ashtadhyayi, Adhyaya 5, Pada 4th, Sutra 112. Observations of most of these grammarians mostly pertain to phonetics. Now, to conclude, it may be concluded that Pānini had a number of research in the field of grammar, etymology and phonetics. Thank you.